What up, my peeps? Yes, I'm talking to you. It's time for another podcast here. This is episode 128, How I Want a Better Life for You. I'm just jacked. I am jacked up right now. I've been on a long journey against the grain, doing things my own way. And this is the very first year that I've actually made enough money for 2021. It's been a goal of mine to pre-make all the money necessary on to pay everything so I don't even have to think of the year in advance. And I finally reached it. And it's these kind of things that I've experienced in my life that I want to share with people because I'm full of joy. I'm super happy. Life keeps getting better and better for me. I keep planning, I keep designing, I keep experimenting. I don't just take what we have before us. I don't just look at this plan and these rules and these laws and these unwritten laws of things that I don't know came from where. That this is the way things ought to be. I don't really care for the way things ought to be. I really don't care the way some things are. So I manipulate them and I change them around, and I'm super stoked, super excited. And I just want you guys to know out there that this particular show is dedicated to you guys, that there is a different way. If a monkey ape like me can do this, you guys can do it too. And I want to tell you guys how. So welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet, exploring alternatives to the daily grind through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. This is a potty mouth podcast. This is episode 128, I Want a Better Life for You. I am broadcasting live from my mobile studio F350 diesel pickup truck on my commute home from work. And it's really utilizing this time. It's about a 3-hour drive, so I figured I'd throw a couple podcasts in here for you. So yes, I'm going to start with just jump in. Let your food be your medicine be your food. I want to talk about this philosophy of life. And first, let's just look at what this saying, I forget who made it up. I think it was Socrates or somebody. I can't remember. I'm not that fucking smart. But some smart person fucking said it. And it makes so much sense. Me growing my own food, I'm spending a lot of money on nutrients and worm compost and doing a lot of extra things that normal people don't do out there. I'm eating the best food on the planet. As far as let your food be your medicine be your food, I kind of like this gist here that I'm working on creating a garden business. This is my retirement plan, is making money, growing my own food, teaching others to grow their own food. You see how I'm stacking functions here, as we love to say on the show, taking from permaculture? We're doing many, many things. Hopefully I will be making money. I know I will be eating the most nutritious, healthiest food on the planet. I will be getting exercise. I will be teaching other people or sharing my wealth of information that I learned in the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, however long I decide to live. And I'm bettering the world. I'm stacking functions everywhere. It's your medicine be your food be your medicine. Why can't we think of these things also like our work and our money? Yes, this day and age, we need to make money to buy things. But what if we bought things that actually make us some money? You see where I'm going? We can flip things around, just like I'm doing with my gardening here. And for example, I look at, to give you guys a few examples of that, because probably maybe some of you are going, what do you mean? Buy some things that actually make you money. A few tools. I like to repair things around my home. Maybe I buy an expensive screw gun and a nice saw, some plumbing stuff. I can fix stuff, do handyman. I can fix my own stuff in my home. I could turn around and I could also do a handyman job and fix things for other people and make money off of it. These things are making me money. I'm investing. There's an ROI. So there's different ways if we can take what we're given here, take this shitty system that we got and manipulate it into something different and start making things stack functions. My pickup truck, so I'll give you guys one last one before I move on to the next. My pickup truck that I'm driving in right now is a 96 F350 diesel truck. I could rebuild this truck for the rest of my life. The reason why I'm saying this is I just got hit up again. Somebody wanted to buy it, and they were complimenting me on the condition of it, like, wow, that's really a beautiful truck. But this truck has also a solid steel camper shell. Is it the most beautiful truck? No. I think I like it. I don't think it's a get chick car though, but I don't really care for those type of chicks. But with this truck, this 4-door crew cab, it's serving as my podcast studio right now. And I lost my notes. This truck is serving as my studio to broadcast, to record my podcast. It's taking me home. For those of you who don't know, I have a special needs kid, so in the camper I built an entire bed with memory foam, so it's a place to change your diapers. Also on my mini retirements, for those of you who don't know, I work pretty much 8 to 9 months out of the year. 3 months out of the year I take my 2 daughters that I have and we go traveling, and we actually live in my vehicle. My vehicle is also stuffed with all my tools. It's hauling all my work stuff right now. It has a solar panel to charge up my refrigerator, freezer, my laptop, charge my cell phones. It's got lights. It's an emergency evacuation vehicle. You see where I'm going. It serves so much. And yeah, I wanted you guys to consider looking at everything this way. Let your food be your medicine be your food. The next thing I want to talk about in life is obligation is poison. I'm kind of all over the place here, but it all should tie in together if I can articulate it correctly. Obligation is poison. We're not obligated to do anything. There's some pretty shitty people out there, some people who like to energy vampires. There's a lot of people who are go-nowheres and do nothing, and they love to sit there and gas each other up at the gas station of bullshit of why everything sucks and why we shouldn't do anything about anything. And I think you guys need to get away from these people. The moment I have cut ties with people like this in my life has drastically improved. This is a very big one. Let your food be your medicine and all that stuff is very, very good. Self-confidence is good. But why would you sit there, as I like to call it, in the pig pen with all the piggies? And these people, not to offend any piggies out there, sorry guys, you guys have rights too. But yeah, it's very dirty. And a lot of things I think that we waste in our lives of obligation, of doing things out of obligation, having to show up at a bar or something, go have some beers with your friends when you really don't want to. Maybe you're an entrepreneur like me, or maybe you're just working a 9 to 5 and you want to get yourself ahead and you don't want to succumb to these sort of things, but you do it anyway out of obligation. Get rid of the obligation. You should do what you want, always what you want, as long as it's good for people, good for yourself. You know, sometimes I think it's good to do things that you don't want, but in excess, I think it's very horrible, and especially when it's Debbie Downers and what are the people calling them, Karens now? I don't even know why that is. Somebody enlighten me. But yeah, get away from obligation. And know that you do, know that you do have a choice in almost everything. Yes, we have to pay taxes. Yes, we got to drive at the speed limit and do certain things in our lives, but we have choices with so many different things. And I think this is a very powerful one, because I think a lot of people don't realize that we have choices. We all see, I spoke earlier about it, about the system. I don't know if I mentioned like these laws and regulations and unwritten laws, sayings that we have for our personal selves, like, oh, you can't do that, you got to get a formal education. Is that so? Sounds like Elon Musk doesn't give a shit about your PhD, your graduation, your GED, or your PhD or anything like that, your DDHD, whatever all those, your ADHD. He wants to know about your achievements. He wants to know what your passions are, what you've done, and what you're able to do. So a lot of these laws that we've had that were passed down from, who knows, from this matrixy system that we have here, from our parents, from teachers, from multiple sources in life, that this is the way things have to be, is becoming, I think, the veil's being lifted, and all we're finding is there's smoke and mirrors. And I think that it's your choice to either follow the herd or pave your own road. And that's what we're doing here. We have choices. I have choices. I've been making choices in my life, and I've been running things a lot different, and I'm getting very good results. Have I got good results with everything? No. Some stuff has not been so great. Some stuff has been wonderful. Some stuff's been working in the makings for many, many years. Some stuff is a lot of trial and error, but you learn so much from your failures, more than you do from any of your successes. But to know that you have a choice in almost anything that you're doing. I want you guys to think about being inspired by yourself. There's inspiration. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were saying inspiration is caught, not taught. I kind of don't know how I feel about this one. I've never really heard the saying. And I think that it can go both ways. I think it could just be caught. You know, you're just sitting there and suddenly it just fucking slaps you in the back of the head and you're like, holy shit, I'm inspired to do something. Most of us, I think, look and we get inspiration from other people, what other people are doing. I hope to do that for you guys, especially like with this show. But what I really, really would like is for each and every single one of you to teach yourself, to inspire yourself. I think that it's awesome that we get inspired by other people's accomplishments and things like that. So I kind of understand, but I think it comes from within, that only you know what you want. Only you know what you're capable of doing. It's only you that has the choice to actually make that step, to take that first step through the door and make whatever it is that you want happen and how you want to make it happen. With nobody over your shoulder telling you what the fuck to do. You do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. And I think when you inspire yourself, is the feeling I have, which is a podcast coming up, I think, how not to give a fuck, or the practices of not giving a fuck what anybody thinks about you, is very, very powerful. You get tunnel vision. I have these dreams, I have these things that I'm working on, and I don't stop, but I really don't care, as I said, to be obligated to do other things other than fulfill my own dreams. And my dreams are not something to go take over the world, you know, unless it's spreading yumminess everywhere. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Well, that's another day, another story. But I want you guys to really get inspired. I want you guys to sit with yourselves and be born to yourself. Wake up inside yourself. Wake up and know that you have choices, and that, I don't know much more to say on that. I think that's about it. That's Forrest Gump's about all I can say about that. Don't let them kill your curiosity. I've said this a couple times in my show. It's what I tell my children, and when I say they, it's they, whoever the fuck you want to think that they are. Where all new things come from is being curious and always searching for new things, being a seeker, being a searcher, being hungry, not being afraid to go out where no others have gone before, and being curious. And I think when I say this, don't let them kill your curiosity, it seems like a lot of people have lost that. They're not really curious about things. They're more to the merits of compromise, of obligation, of just existing in this, whatever we've got here, in the conveniences of life, that they don't care to really explore. And I think that's pretty sad. And I don't know how to repair this other than to be inspired by yourself, to start doing things for yourself, and start searching within you in your mind. It's very simple. What would you want to do? Like, actually, that's how it's. What would you do if you won the lottery? And let's just say it wasn't like billions and millions of dollars. Let's just say you won like $300,000. What would you do with that $300,000? I mean, besides going and, buying a Lamborghini or a bunch of crap like that, or I don't know, if you're thinking that way, you're probably already lost the game anyways. But what would you do for you, after vacation or whatever? What would you do if you sat there and went, I'm going to save that money, I'm going to quit my job, fill in the blank? Do you know that is actually possible? That if you've got enough curiosity, you can go and search for things to make that actually happen. Sit down and do that exercise and figure out what it is that you want to do, and go out there and get it, because time is ticking. And guess what, guys? Time don't give a shit about you, me, the show, your curiosity, anything. Get out there and make something happen. I also want to tell you guys to not let science murder your magic. Now, what is it that I say when I say magic? We're going to get a little Twilight Zone-y on you guys here. I told you guys that we're going to do that every once in a while. But what I can't remember the entire story of this, but what scientists basically have done, we're trying to figure out what's in the center of an atom. And somehow they were able to peel this thing back through the neutrons and protons and everything else to get to the center. And what they found, they finally cracked the code and found that all that was there was light and energy. A reflection of like electricity, energy, and light that reflects things, that could be anything. And what are atoms? What are atoms inside? Inside everything in your body, they make up all physical matter. So at the bottom of everything, at the center of all meaning of life, all there is energy and light. We can go into dark matter and things like that, but I don't want to make this a scientific show. But let's just think about that for a minute. One of my favorite sayings with science is, we now know. And when somebody finds something new, they state it as, this is the fact. It's fact. We got all the evidence and the mathematics, and then along comes something and just completely wipes it out. And then we now know what we thought we knew, but now we know. Do you see this curiosity, how it keeps going for these type of people? And if you think science can't be purchased, look it up and do some thinking for yourself. That science can't be manipulated in one way or the other by funding and money and by individuals' personal interests, not on the magic. So when I say the magic, moving forward here, is that's actually really the magic of life. If somebody ever said something very bad to you, didn't lay hands on you, but made you feel like shit, just with words, think about that, the magic of that, how it's that feeling goes into your gut, you feel sick to your stomach. How about when you fell in love? You felt great, you were full of energy. Did anybody do anything to you? No. It was in your mind. Your mind, you decided to be happy. Some of their dying regrets from this Australian nurse who nursed the elderly, one of them was, I wish that I would have been happy. I wish I'd have known that happiness was a choice and that I could have just chosen to be happy. This is magic, people. This is a decision that happens in your life. And the laws of attraction, where you hear a lot of these stories where Mike Tyson was talking about, I had to be the champ before I was the champ. He envisioned in his mind before he was even there, because he said, well, how am I going to handle being the champ if I don't practice and I'm ready for it? So these people actually think, and he's not the only one. There's The Rock. There's all kinds of different people who have inspiring things you can look up for yourself. That's the magic, is what I mean. The magic of things that we can't really explain and that don't need explaining, and that we hold the magic there, that, hey, look, maybe the forest and the feelings that you get don't need to be explained. They just need to be experienced. So that's all I have to say about that. And this improves your life. This is the stuff that I look at when you take these things into account and the effect into your life and the acknowledgement of these things, and you practice them, and you decide, as I said, to be happy. You decide to have magic in your life. You decide to stay curious, and you decide to follow your dreams. Life gets a lot better, and things definitely start turning around. Shit always gets hard, but sometimes for the greater good. Sometimes, like we have in Los Angeles right now, we have a lot of fires coming in and decimating, doing horrible things. The people I feel the worst for, or the beings I feel the worst for, is the microbiology, the insects, and the animals, and also the plants. I'm just as fond and just as respectful as plants as I am anything that bleeds red blood. I think everything has a life force on this planet, even the microbiology in the soil. And hats off, this has been a very sad moment of all these fires happening. But you know what this does sometimes is it clears out the weak. The forest has burned, parts of these forests have burned down, but guess what? It opens it up. There are seeds in the ground. For a lot of you people who don't know, that's not the first time this has happened in the lifetime of this area. There has been fires here before. That's what it's built to do, is to burn. So there are plant seeds that wait, and they will not grow until things burn. So new life is being formed. New things, new trees, as I observed in some of the hills over here, a lot of the oaks and eucalyptus they caught on fire, but they didn't die. And now they have a newfound survival. Their species will drop seeds in this now biochar soil, where new things will come, and maybe a whole new type of beauty, a whole new set of animals, insects, and life forms and plants that will emerge. In life, I think that we never know what's going on. The only certain thing is that there's complete uncertainty. The only consistent thing in life is that nothing is consistent. We have to keep moving. We have to keep pivoting with things. We have to keep inventing ourselves. And to bring things anew. So sometimes even as simple as old ideas and things, as we spoke about with science, even with ourselves, we should be changing all the time. We should be acquiring new thoughts and new beliefs. If we're not, something's wrong. We should be evolving. So next, take care of the debt that you owe yourself. Then open yourself to freedom and the endless possibilities. You are in debt to yourself. We are in debt to all kinds of different things in life. But one of the things I think to give to ourselves is the acceptance of that we may fail. Acceptance that one day we will die. Everything dies. Everything gets born anew. New things happen. But we're in debt to ourselves, I think, to the most part because of what I see around me. Because of the look in people's faces. I've witnessed this with my own eyes, and the defeat that it seems like inside people. They have been, they gave up. They gave up things, and they're not happy. A lot of people, the majority of people, I would say, not all, but they're slowly spending their time following the laws, following rules and regulations, doing what they're supposed to do, doing what they're told to do, and not being who they really are. And I think a lot of us, if that rings a bell with you, then you know that you're in debt to yourself. You know that you've allowed this to be done to you. You know that it's a choice. I hate to say it, but this is what happens. This is what we get. And I don't blame a lot of us too, because a lot of us aren't aware that there are choices and we've never been shown. That's really one thing that I hope in the show is to show you guys that there is different shit that can happen, different ways that life could go. Nope. All the things that I share with you guys can't be replicated in your life. Maybe some of the things, but I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're into. I couldn't force you to work as hard as I do. You'd have to want to work as hard as I do. You would have to be inspired to do the things that I do. And as I said, I don't think I can, that inspiration could be caught in this manner. This is where inspiration could be taught. So yes, we're in debt to ourselves. We're in debt to nature. But I think once we repair ourselves, once we repay that debt, and once you have that feeling inside you that you're spiritually full and you're spiritually open to everything, in your mind, in your soul, in your thoughts, in your thinking, in your existence, that's when you can open yourself up to the many, many possibilities that are out there, the endless sea of possibilities. It's the journey, not the destination. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard this, but I guess I've been living under a fucking rock because there's a lot of shit I haven't heard. I lived in a third world country when I was a kid. I've always been tunnel visioned in my own life, never really give a crap about a lot of different things, education and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that I miss, but when I look at this one, I think it should be something that we should look at every single day. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Everywhere that once we'd build something, we'd get bored of it. It's completely evident. Look at C's Candies and, brand new cars, brand new clothes, all these materialistic things that we get. What happens to them? They get put in storage, they get given away, and they slowly lose their luster until we go on to something new. Even if we look at this story, I'm not sure if a lot of you guys, we spoke about winning the lottery. Look at how many people's lives are ruined by winning the lottery. And look at how much we all strive for perfection. And yet when we arrive at perfection, some of us like to screw the whole thing up. Or if we see something that's perfect, we think it's arrogant. And then we want something new. Some people who have it all. So the destination I look at should never be set forth. As I said, everything always changes. Nothing is consistent. We can try to familiarize ourselves, try to get convenience in our life and try to get consistent with it, but things always change. Nature will light things on fire and we'll have to start new. And I personally kind of like it that way. But the beauty of the journey is, as they say here in, like me doing this show, I got tired for a while. It's a lot of work, man, and it cost me some money to broadcast this out. It doesn't come for free. But you know what I found is that I love doing it so much that I found a new awakening. I found a new joy. I found a new energy. And as I said on this show, I don't think that this show has any high hopes. I think it's positive. I try to be positive. I get told that I'm negative and that I point out a lot of bad shit. But I think that a lot of people who take a look at this bad shit and deal with it are going to get far off better in their lives than where they are now. It's painful, yes, some of the things that I speak about, but it's awakening. And I think that it's coming up to my next line here. The last line for this show is, well, let's finish up. It's the journey, not the destination. It's enjoying this show, waking up extra early in the morning for you guys sometimes at like 4 in the morning to get my show notes together, try to podcast while the sun's coming up, which is kind of cool because I get to do a show for you guys. I get to watch the light, which is one of my favorite things to see, is the morning sun. The sunrise has actually got so many different colors in the sky than a sunset. But knowing that hopefully my message would get out there and help people, but finding that journey and liking it. And when you enjoy the journey, you're unfucking stoppable because you know what it takes. And at some point, it doesn't become work anymore. It becomes something that you like to do. And I would like to say that life should be that way. It's impossible for us to do everything that way, but if we can do as much of it as possible, doesn't that sound like a ringer? So enjoy the destination. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. My next one, since I said about negativity, is, let me read it correctly here. Don't be your worst enemy. So I've spoken about a bunch of great shit and possibly some bad shit. And on this one, I want to let you guys know that there is a journey, as we just said, I think, that we need to realize, and I realized for myself. I was telling you guys how obligation is poison, how I cut a lot of people out of my life, and it actually did me good. But one of the things I realized when I got rid of all my roadblocks was that, and all the people in it, was that guess who was holding me back the worst? Was this guy, me. It was me who was holding myself back. All the doubts, all the little subconscious thoughts in my mind saying, you're a loser, you have no education, this is a lot of work, listening to other people saying you're burning your candle at both ends, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, here's why, here's this, here's that, and you're just getting lost in everything. And until you find your own chord, you find your own sound, you find your own vibration, and dealing with yourself. All the other people are stopping you. The government's stopping you, the matrix is stopping you, there's laws, rules, regulations, and all kinds of shit that's gonna stop you, the weather, all kinds of things that we can all point out and put blame on other things, especially spiritual entities, which I don't really buy in, where, you did harm to somebody because somebody made you do it. Nah, I think you pretty much did it yourself. But that's a whole different story, and that's some really deep ugliness. But when I say don't be your own worst enemy, is I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Practice doing shit on your own, getting tunnel vision, living your life, living a better life, and then pay attention to the dialogue that goes on in your head. And after you've surpassed everybody else and everything, and you've got your own, you've done some meditation, you've waken up inside yourself, you were born into yourself, and you've got this new revitalization. The only thing that's left, and you don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. Now you got to think about what the fuck you think about you. And it's actually a positive. So the people who fucking say that I'm negative and that this is all this and that, it's actually, I think there's a lot of shit negative. And I think that if we don't change our lives, that's a negative. And we should stop being our enemies to each other. We should stop being enemies to ourselves. We should all start pursuing the things that makes us happy, and to do better to our planet, do better for our children, for our friends, for our family, for the plants, our brothers and sisters, the animals, and the microbiology, and the aliens watching us from outer fucking space. Because if we keep this shit up, they ain't never gonna land, people. They ain't never gonna fucking land. They're gonna be like, these fucking motherfuckers, look what they're doing. But if we start doing things a little better, I don't know, maybe we'll wake up to the aliens inside of ourselves and create our own spaceship and fly to the magical places where we all want to be and create heaven on earth and actually enjoy life. Yeah, I'm going off the fucking deep end there. I need a referee, man. I need someone with a fucking whistle to blow it. Hey, calm it down, square one. All right, guys. Well, that's the show, man. I hope that shit fucking rung a bell for you guys. I hope it's been doing good. I hope all these shows do good for you. I'm in a chipper mood. I feel really great. Dude, let's live life. Let's change this shit around. So, you guys check this show out on YouTube. I put all the podcasts are videoed. You can see my ugly face out there. Spotify and Apple iTunes is where you can listen to the podcast. We got TikTok. We got Instagram, we got Facebook. Go out there and have yourself a near-life experience, guys. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human the fuck up. And human up to yourself. Live it, love it, own it. And bone it, my friends.